Welcome back. Dr. Desiree Stahl here, Naturopath. So on our last video we talked about, that was file number 1, we talked about the foods that you should eat are the ones that you would eat if all grocery stores disappeared and you had to live off the land. Well, fortunately we don't live in this world. So what we're going to do today is talk about what I buy at the grocery store, and I just wanted to share my thoughts when I buy certain aspects and what I pay attention to. So the most important aspect is read your labels. On every food that you buy, you should read your labels. Second most important thing is try and buy a lot of foods that don't come with labels, like fruits and vegetables and meat. That would be the primary thing to pay attention to. Read your labels, see if there's any additives, fillers, binding agents, all these things that are in your food that are increasing the amount of metabolites that your body has to eliminate. The more junk is in your body, the sicker you are. Therefore, the best way to detox is to not put anything toxic in your body. That's what it comes down to. So here I'm going to share. We just went to the grocery store earlier today. We just got home. So let's go through what we buy. So starting off with foods with no labels. First, I want to say I have no affiliation with any particular product or brand. I'm just sharing what I think about when I look at products. So, of course, who hasn't heard of lettuce? I usually buy organic lettuce. If you don't, make sure you wash your lettuce because antibiotics are being used on lettuce to prevent E. coli outbreaks. You don't want antibiotics in your gut, so try and avoid that. When it comes to buying organic or not organic, it depends on the fruit that I buy. Most berries I buy organic. The reason why, there's a lot of herbicides that are being used on fruit, and the ones that have the thinnest skin are going to have the largest amount of residue. Therefore, apples and berries, strawberries, I tend to buy organic. I like to buy bell peppers. A yellow bell pepper, again organic because I don't peel this, has more vitamin C than an orange. So all I do with this is I cut it up, put some salt on, and make my family eat it. Because vitamin C is very finicky. If you cook it, it's destroyed. This is the best way to get vitamin C, is from fresh, unaltered fruits and vegetables. Cucumber. Here we've got tangerines. You have to buy these organic? Maybe not. You do peel the skin off of them. More cucumber. Banana can be organic, cannot be. They do have thick skin that you can remove. Onions and garlic, generally, don't have to buy them organic. Moving on. Ugh. This week we only bought chicken. So when it comes to meat, the things that I pay attention to, I don't always buy organic, but I always make sure that it says on the label, no antibiotics used ever. The reason that I pay attention to that and not necessarily organic is because any animal that needs antibiotics injected into the meat after processing is probably a sick animal. Therefore, if you're eating meat from a sick animal, are you going to be healthy? Probably not. Let's see. What else we got here? Got some apples. Here's some something with a label. So this is prosciutto and mozzarella sticks. My boys love to eat these. So when I look at the ingredients, the bottom, it says pork and sea salt. And then for the cheese, it says pasteurized milk, enzymes, and salt. Nothing in here that sounds like a chemical. Spaghetti sauce here that I buy. So the ingredients, again, you read tomato puree, tomato paste, diced tomatoes, more tomatoes. We've got some avocado oil, organic roasted garlic, sea salt, onions, citric acid, which is a vitamin C, black pepper, and dried basil. No sugar in this, just herbs and tomatoes for the most part. Olive oil. One thing to pay attention to when it comes to olive oil is you got to make sure that it's sourced from one location. when you read the label, if you see that there are sourced from Italy and various other countries, it's probably not even pure olive oil. So when you pay attention, you got to make sure on the label it states from one location. That's what you're looking for when it comes to oils. Generally, you want to try to avoid canola oil, any of the processed oils, because they are processed using hexane. So I tend to pick oils that are naturally made, including butter, tallow, avocado oil, since that's pretty oily. That's what I usually go for. Condiments. If you pay attention, what is in the condiments? A lot of them have a lot of sugar. So this one here has white distilled vinegar, water, mustard seed, salt, turmeric, paprika, spices, and some garlic. Again, everything in here sounds like food. Got some avocados here. We've got some half and half. Shocker, yes, I do consume dairy. So this is organic grade A milk and organic cream. That's it. Almond butter. A lot of times when you buy peanut butter or almond butter, there's a lot of additives in it, as well as sugar, which is not great for you. So this has dry roasted almonds, maple sugar, palm oil, and sea salt. So maple sugar is not a cane sugar. So this is a much healthier version because it's a less processed sugar that they're using in this packet. Of course, you have to treat yourself with some chocolate. This is important because most women would agree chocolate is a necessary ingredient of life. So when it comes to chocolate, a lot of it has additives in it that are not healthy for you. So this one here has organic cacao, unrefined coconut sugar, organic hazelnut, and cocoa butter. Yum. For the kids, snacks, these pouches are really good. They just contain banana puree, organic whole grain oats, some vitamin C, and some raspberries. Pretty clean. Spices, do pay attention to spices. I only buy individual spices. I don't buy any combined spices because they often contain other additives, coloring, and sugar. So this is pure cumin. Do pay attention that a lot of garlic powder and onion powder can be diluted with starches. So when you buy a garlic powder that is not very strong in flavor, it means it has been diluted with starches. So where you think you're getting more, you're actually just getting a bunch of empty carbohydrates in your spice. We don't need a whole lot of grains, as I discussed before, but I do occasionally eat brown rice. So the ingredients on here are long grain organic brown rice. For noodles, again, don't eat that often, but this is brown rice and water. I usually don't go for wheat that much because there's a lot of binding agents and herbicides that are found on grain. This is why a lot of gluten-free people tend to feel better because they're avoiding larger doses of chemicals in their food. So I usually choose rice for this very reason. If I do want to make some cookies, I will usually buy, oops, this is spilling all over, Italian wheat. I just buy this online because in Italy, they don't add as many chemicals as they do here in the US, I've learned. I mean, if I had a dime for every time a patient told me he was gluten-free, that they were doing so much better eating whatever they wanted in Europe, I'd be rich. So that must be something to that. Of course, we're not always perfect, but for my boys, they like to eat these macro bars. And so these have more ingredients, but when you read through them, again, you will not see any chemicals, binding agents, food coloring. It's all rice syrup, peanut butter, brown rice, pea protein, chocolate chips made from coconut sugar, cocoa, and cocoa butter, and puffed brown rice. So it's nothing artificial in here. Now, I'm trying to find an example of something that you shouldn't eat, but I don't have much of that at the house. But I do have a few things that some neighbors have brought over to our location that we sometimes hold on to when it's necessary. So the ones that I have found for the New Year's party, someone left some Mountain Dews. We were originally going to leave them outside for them to freeze so that we can shoot them with BB guns. Turns out they never froze. What's in there that makes it not freeze? I don't know. But when you read the ingredients, they always list the ingredients from most content to least content. So if you buy something where the first ingredient is some sort of syrup or sugar, that means there's more syrup or sugar in it than anything else. So this here has carbonated water, high fructose corn syrup, concentrated orange juice, citric acid, natural flavor. What's that? Sodium benzoate to preserve freshness that has been shown to cause ADHD, caffeine, sodium citrate, gum arabic, erythorbic acid, calcium disodium EDTA to protect the flavor, yellow 5, and that's it. Gross. Here's something else. We had gotten some hot cocoa spoons at a Christmas party for the kids. As you can see, they're still all present. Let's see. Looking at just the marshmallow ingredients, first ingredient is sugar. Second ingredient is glucose syrup. So the first two ingredients are just sugar. Beef gelatin, sorbitol, modified starch. What's a modified starch? Dextrose? What is that? Artificial flavor, and terasodium pyrophosphate. Not quite sure what that is. So really what I'm trying to get here is if you are reading an ingredient and you don't know what it is and it doesn't sound like it grows on a tree or bush, it's probably to some degree not great for your body. One last thing that I wanted to point out is seaweed. My kids love seaweed. So what we've got in here is organic seaweed, organic sunflower oil, and sea salt. Seaweed is full of nutrients, minerals. It's gelatinous when it gets wet, which means it's good smooth fiber for the digestive tract. The kids, they just love it. So we make sure we get plenty of packs of that. And then ice cream. I need ice cream too. Who doesn't love ice cream? So we buy this dairy-free ice cream, not because we don't eat dairy, but this ice cream doesn't have any cane sugar in it. It uses coconut syrup. So the ingredients here are coconut milk, water, guar gum, kind of questionable, coconut syrup, coconut cream, vanilla extract, and vanilla beans. So again, for the most part, we're not perfect, but we pay attention. For the most part, we buy things that you can pronounce and are actually considered a food. Here we've got some yogurt. So I buy this yogurt again because it doesn't have any cane sugar in it. And my husband and I are actually talking about the two different versions of yogurt that this company has. And this one, I prefer this one over another version. So this one has pasteurized whole milk, pasteurized cream, organic agave nectar, Madagascar bourbon vanilla, vanilla extract, vanilla bean specks, and a fruit pectin with some bacteria in it. My husband was eating the other version of it, and he asked me, why do you prefer this one over the one I'm eating? And the first ingredient on his was pasteurized skim milk. So that's another point I want to bring across, is that if something has been additionally changed by the human hand, it's usually not as healthy for you. A whole milk is a much better option that comes with its original nutrients and vitamins that hadn't been removed by processing, by turning it into skim milk. So the point is, try to find foods that have been minimally changed by the human hand. That is what we are designed to eat, and that's what's going to keep you healthy. So read your labels. Try to buy a lot of foods that don't have labels, and if you do, make sure you read them. Everything in there is clear, food-sounding ingredients, and that's about it. Thank you for joining me today for Keeping Health and Medicine Simplified. Have a lovely day.